Welcome to another episode of Smiling Again. Today I'm with Jacki Mundrawala, who is a breathwork coach. And I am really excited about this conversation because I'm looking forward to do a little practice here live with Jacki. And also because, Jacki, I have to say, since I met you, I have been so much more conscious of my breathing. What have you done to me, Jacki?
Oh, hi guys. Thanks so much for having me. And I'm so glad that I could rub off on you the right way, Kim, and really get you to focus on your breathing and become more conscious of it because that's so important. It literally affects every area of our life. And so I'm so excited to be on here and be talking with you all about breathing and how it can really help you.
Wonderful. That's so wonderful. You mentioned when we spoke before that it's all about getting out of your head and into the body.
Yes.
Could you help
Yes.
people understand what that means?
Yeah. So we live most of our lives in our head. And by that, I mean, we think about the past, we're thinking about what's happening in the future. And we rarely spend any time in the body because we're thinking about all these things that are not right now. And when I mean get in the body, I mean really, it's really obvious what it means to get in the body when you start to take a few deep breaths and then you start to notice different things in your body. You might notice different areas where you're holding tension. And so that's what I mean to get in the body and notice the sensations that are present in the body, because you'll notice that you're holding on to so much more than you thought when you were just living in your head, when you were thinking about the past. All those things don't become noticeable until we drop into the body and start to notice what's going on in there.
Absolutely. So before we dive into it and talk about breath work, could you please share a little bit about your story and what led you to be here and becoming a breathwork coach?
Yeah, thank you. That's such a great question. And I was called to breath work. I just knew that it was something that I needed. I grew up not really having a lot of emotional tools. I just didn't even know that was a thing. And so I held everything inside. And that led me to a life of turning to other substances and to really feel at home, at peace. And I didn't want to live that life anymore. And I didn't know how I was going to get out until I found breath work. And when I breathe, I feel absolute joy. I am able to let go of so much that is causing me stress and anxiety and just feel so much more grounded and centered. And when I first did my first breathwork session, I thought to myself, why doesn't everyone know about this? This is amazing. We have this amazing tool within us to help us feel all sorts of ways. And why doesn't anyone else know about this?
Mm. Absolutely. And I think it's important you mentioned that, you grew up not knowing that there were these tools to help you with your emotions. And I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. I certainly can relate to that. Emotions are something that you just experience and you live with. Something happens and you react. But the more you learn about the tools that are out there, which we're going to explore today with breath work, the more you realize that actually you can choose to respond rather than react to what's happening around you. And I think breath work has been a wonderful tool for me because it's just made me more conscious of, you know, me being in the moment and me being in my body rather than stuck in all of those thoughts in my head.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it's just such a great tool to get you out of those thought patterns that you're having. They say that a human has like so many thoughts and about like 98% of them are the same every single day. And a lot of us have these negative thought patterns and we need to break them. And what better way to do that than by focusing on the breath and really bringing in more energy through your breath into the body?
Mhm. Yes, exactly. So I know everyone's probably wondering, well, what is breath work? What does that actually mean? And I know that you've you've given me lots of information about the different types of breath work. So could you help people to understand, where do you start when it comes to breath work? What would you suggest is a good thing to start with when you're learning about breath work and how it can help you? And if you want to do a little practice with me as your guinea pig to demonstrate to everyone, I'm happy to do that as well.
We will definitely do an exercise here in a little bit. But to answer your first question, what breath work is anytime you are consciously manipulating your breath, anytime you're focusing on changing your breath, either bringing in more breath or really just focusing on changing it, you're practicing breath work. And the best place to start would be really anywhere is to start, right? Because you can really feel the difference that breath work makes. You can feel the difference that just a couple of minutes of breathing can do. You can feel the change in your state, in your emotional state. You can feel just so much more calm, relaxed, and grounded when you start just even doing deep belly breathing exercises. And like I sent you, there are different ways that you can use your breath to make you feel different things. So if you're feeling really stressed or anxious, there are different types of breaths that you can use to help yourself feel more calm, grounded, and relaxed. Whereas there's also breathwork types that actually help you feel more energized and focused. And that's a different breath pattern that you use. You're going to focus on bringing in more oxygen, more breaths at a quicker rate to help yourself get more energized and more inspired.
That's fabulous. Because I know when I first started thinking about my breathing, it was when I was learning to run. And it took me quite a long time to realize, and it was something actually that my osteopath said about my shallow breathing. So all of my breathing was here. So learning, I think the first thing I learned was a deep belly breath. I didn't know that that was something that you could do because I was just so used to this shallow breathing, this anxious breathing up here.
You are not the only one. I feel like a lot of us are stuck in the chest, like the shallow chest breathing. And that's actually a sign that your body is in the fight and flight mode, and in the stress condition is how you're breathing. And ancient yogis can actually look at you, look at the way that you're breathing, and be able to tell how you're feeling just based on the way that you're breathing.
Wow.
And so when we change our breath, we're also able to change the way we feel too. So just like how when we get angry or when we get sad, our breath changes to a different pattern, we can consciously manipulate the breath in order to feel a certain way as well.
Wow, that's powerful. So I hope everybody heard that. You can consciously manipulate your breath to change the way that you're feeling. That is a powerful tool.
Yeah, because anything we do is really because of how we feel, right? A lot of us wait for inspiration to hit before we can take a step forward in whatever it is that we're doing, but we don't have to wait for the inspiration to hit. We can just consciously manipulate our breath into feeling inspired.
Absolutely. Or when you're feeling really tired, but you've got a work deadline that you have to hit and you've got to get the work done, but you feel like you just want to lay down and go to sleep. You could do some breath work to feel more energized, couldn't you?
Exactly. Yeah. And you would feel so re-energized and re-inspired and rejuvenated. And this is only after a couple minutes of breathing. I'm not asking for, an hour of breathing. Of course, there's benefits to breathing for an hour. And if you come to one of my classes ever, we do breathe for about 35 minutes, but you don't need to breathe that long in order to change your emotional state. You can just breathe for a few minutes and get the same benefits.
Super. So that makes it a lot more achievable for people, doesn't it? To know that they could do something in a couple of minutes to help change the way that they're feeling.
Yeah, it's literally the most powerful tool that I have found out there. Honestly, I mean, like I said, I might be a little biased because I am a breathwork teacher, but I mean, show me something more powerful.
Well, I've definitely experienced the benefits too, and it's just been it's been life-changing for me, and I get excited about it. Got so excited when I met you because I know how, if I've just learned a few little things on my own. So mini breath meditations for just a couple of minutes to help calm me when I'm anxious. So if I could learn more techniques, my goodness, just imagine what that could do. So I wanted to ask you about, because you mentioned how we hold emotions in our body and how breath work can help with that. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, I love this question. Thank you for asking that. And this happens to all of us as we grow up. When things become too much for us to experience, our nervous system literally shuts down, and then we can't process the emotion. And then it gets stuck inside the body. And it acts as this invisible force, kind of like this dark cloud always over you, and you're not really knowing what's wrong. And these trapped emotions, they can actually even lead to physical things, physical problems, physical diseases in the body. And that's why breathwork is so important, is because it helps to release these trapped emotions. They're not just going to go away just because you decided something felt uncomfortable and you wanted to have a little bit of alcohol, or if you wanted to like eat and not feel those feelings. It's not like those feelings will go away. You have to feel them at some point. You're going to have to process them at some point, and they're going to stay stuck inside the body until you give them what they want, which is your time, your attention, breathing through them. So the only way to release these trapped emotions is really to feel them. And breathwork is such a great tool because it helps you get in the body where the emotions are living, and then it helps you use your breath, using those exhales to release them. Because what emotions are, they're just emotion, energy in motion. And so when you use your breath, you're helping that energy from the emotion to leave your body.
I'm just sitting here processing that emotion. I love that, getting the energy in motion. That makes a lot of sense to me. So for me personally, I felt like I've had some emotions definitely stuck in my body and my hips and lower back. And I don't know why I think that that's where it is, but I just do, because I experience a lot of pain there. But learning how to release that is, it sounds really difficult. How do you do something that you just can't conceptualize?
Well, that's where the beautiful part comes in. And it's, you don't really have to do any conscious work. You just have to breathe, really. So if you come to one of these longer breath work sessions, that's where these longer breathing sessions come into benefit, is your body really taps inside and releases whatever it needs to at its surface. And there's a lot to release. It's when we start the healing journey and the breathing journey, it's like peeling back an onion. There are so many different layers. And just as you release one, as you peel one back, you're going to notice that there's more to peel. But as you breathe, the body does the work on its own. Your body knows exactly what it needs to release. It knows exactly what it needs to let go of, what it's ready to let go of. And so when you breathe, it's just going to naturally release whatever it is that you need to and that you're ready to let go of. And so just practicing these tools, really learning to get inside the body and breathing through it, is all you really need to do.
That sounds great. Now, what I'd love to do now, if you're feeling ready for this, is could you walk us through a simple breathwork practice that people could follow along with while they're listening?
Absolutely. I would love to. And I'm going to share a breath pattern, and it requires 2 different breaths, and it's called the anxiety shifter. And I wanted to share this one because I know a lot of us really do have to manage our anxiety. It's just a common problem in today's society. And it's something that we can really use our breath to release. So, as I mentioned, this breath requires 2 different breath patterns. We're going to start with something called the snake breath, and I will walk you through it here in a second. And then you're going to follow that by the sigh breath. And you're going to do this pattern, both of these two different breaths 10 times. So we're going to do a snake breath, followed by a sigh breath, followed by a snake breath, followed by a sigh breath, etc.
Okay, so I just have to jump in here and I have to say to everyone, I have never done this before. And I think my anxiety has gone up a little bit because I'm going to be doing two different types of breathing in front of everybody for everyone to listen. So for you, the person listening, if I can do this now, so can you. So just try it and don't worry about what it's going to be like or anyone hearing or seeing what you're doing. Just do it for you. That's what I'm telling myself right now.
Exactly. Do not worry about how you look. The only thing I ask is that if you're driving or if you're operating heavy machinery, that you please do not practice this breath work at this time. Really save this and come back for it when you're able to be in a more quiet environment and you're not really having anything heavy or you're operating anything that could hurt anyone. So I mentioned that we're going to start with the snake breath, and that is exactly what it sounds like. So with the snake breath, you're going to do the inhale through the nose, and then the exhale is out the mouth through clenched teeth, and you're making a hissing sound. And as you're exhaling, you're really going to be trying to force as much air out through your clenched teeth, and you're going to try to draw it out for as long as you can. So it looks and it sounds kind of like this. So inhale through the nose, and then the exhale is done through clenched teeth, like a snake sound. And then we're going to follow that by the sigh breath, which is, again, exactly like it sounds. It's an inhale through the nose, and then the exhale is done out the mouth as a sigh, really allowing yourself to make a little bit of noise as you exhale. So it looks and it sounds like this. So if you're ready, we can begin, and we're going to do that 10 times. So 10 snake breaths and then 10 sigh breaths, but it's every other. So a snake, then a sigh, then a snake, then a sigh, then a snake, then a sigh, and etc.
Okay.
And I will guide you through it. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and do the inhale for snake breath. And exhale out through clenched teeth, making a hissing sound just like a snake would. Really forcing that exhale, trying to draw it out for as long as you can, releasing everything that you have, letting it all go, emptying out those lungs. Beautiful, just like that. And now when you're ready, let's take an inhale for the sigh breath. And an exhale as a sigh, making a little bit of noise as you exhale. And that was one round. We're going to go 9 more times just like that. So when you're ready, let's take an inhale for snake breath. And then the exhale is done out through clenched teeth, forcing the air out and really drawing it out for as long as you can. Releasing as much as you can, letting it go. That's it, just like that. Letting it go until you can let no more go. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take an inhale for the sigh breath and an exhale as a sigh, making noise. Just like that, letting it go. And again, we're going to get ready for snake breath. So inhale for snake. Exhale through clenched teeth, making that hissing sound, just as that snake would, forcing it all out, letting it go. Beautiful, just like that, emptying out your lungs. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and take an inhale for the sigh breath. And an exhale as a sigh. Again, let's inhale for snake. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through clenched teeth, letting it all go. You might notice that you might be becoming a little bit more lightheaded as the energy moves. Yeah, that's completely normal. Just letting it all go through clenched teeth. And when you're ready, just go ahead and take an inhale for the sigh breath. And an exhale, making some noise. Beautiful. Let's do an inhale for the snake breath. We're halfway through. Exhale, fork through clenched teeth for the sigh breath. Focusing on letting it all go, releasing anything that doesn't belong in your body, trusting that your body is healing as you breathe. And let's take an inhale for the sigh breath and an exhale as a sigh. Again, inhale for snake breath. And then exhale through clenched teeth, really focusing on letting it all go, focusing on making those exhales forceful and letting it all go for as long as you possibly can, emptying those lungs. And when you're ready, go ahead and take an inhale for the sigh breath. And an exhale, sigh. Great. Let's start again. Inhale for the snake breath. Exhale through clenched teeth. Focusing on letting go of anything that isn't serving you. Noticing the anxiety leaving your body. Noticing the sensations that are going on inside your body as you let go. Just like that. And then we're going to inhale for the sigh breath. Exhale, sigh. We're almost done, so let's do that again. Inhale for the snake breath. Exhale through clenched teeth. Forceful, powerful, letting it go, releasing everything that you have in your lungs. And then inhaling for the sigh breath. Exhale, open mouth sigh, making noise. So good. That's beautiful. When you're ready, just inhaling for the snake breath. And exhaling through clenched teeth. Making it really powerful, really forceful, letting it all go. And when you can no longer let go, inhaling for this sigh breath. And an open mouth exhale. Making noise. Noticing as you make noise, letting it all go. Okay, this is going to be the last round yet. So inhale through the nose for your last snake breath and an exhale, making it the most powerful, the most forceful, letting it all go in this round. Beautiful. You are doing great. Just like that. And when you can no longer let any more go, inhaling for your last sigh breath and exhaling, making noise. Go. And just leaving those eyes closed for a second, noticing all the different sensations in your body, noticing how you're feeling now. Notice if you're feeling a little bit more grounded, a little bit more clear. And opening your eyes in your own time. How are you feeling, Kim? My little guinea pig.
I am feeling quite happy. I'm feeling happy because I did that and I did it in front of other people and I wasn't worried about doing that. I feel I feel a bit tingly and definitely more energetic. So yeah, I really happier and more energetic is how I'm feeling. I think I need a little time to process all of that. But yeah, I feel different up here. I don't know if that makes sense. Clearer. I just feel clearer, more alert.
Yeah, That makes sense. That's definitely
Mm.
something that a lot of people say after doing some breathing. And the tingling sensation is normal as well. That's something called tetany. And it really, you experience that when you feel the energy moving in throughout your body. And so that's what you're feeling, is energy moving inside your body as you're bringing in energy and as you're letting go of energy. So I'm glad that you're feeling happier and more clear. That's exactly the intention of breathing. So yeah, amazing.
I think, we started the conversation by talking about getting out of our heads and into our body. And after doing that, I definitely feel that that's what we've just done together.
Exactly. Yeah. As you do just a couple minutes of breathing, you'll start to notice different sensations in the body, different areas that you're holding tension. And that's when you know that you're dropping into the body. Because when we're in the mind, we don't realize these things. You don't realize that, my shoulders actually have a lot of tension on them.
Mm.
But when you start to drop into the body, and I notice this in my classes, is when people start to drop into their bodies, then they start to do the stretches or like rolling their heads,
Yeah.
and they're noticing different ways that they need to
Yeah.
move. And so that's
I was,
exactly what we did here.
yeah, I was definitely noticing that too. Absolutely. So that was pretty amazing. So anybody listening to this episode, listen to it again and do the breathing. If you didn't do it with us this first time, listen again and do the breathing and just see how you feel. So Jacki, I'm ever so grateful that you shared that with us, because in this short conversation, I think you've shown all of us that we can change the way that we're feeling just with a simple breathwork practice. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for participating and being so brave and doing it in front of all people, all these people. I know that it's not always easy to be vulnerable like that, but thank you for being my
It,
guinea.
it's I have to say to everyone, it's not easy for me. Just like it might not feel easy for you, but the I think that's why I feel so happy, because it's that sense of, oh my gosh, I just did this. I just did this. So it's all worth it just for that feeling. It really is. So try it, everyone. Do try it. And before we finish off our call today, Jacki, I always like to end each conversation with gratitude. What is something that you feel gratitude for in this moment?
Oh, that's hard to choose just one thing. I feel gratitude for the abundance of oxygen that we have to breathe. I always like to tap into that energy every single day in order to feel abundant. Is, we always do have an abundance of oxygen. And so that's really what I'm grateful for. And to have found this tool that really helps me and others shift their state. So this brings me joy to be able to share with you all.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Jacki. And if you've enjoyed this time with Jacki, in the show notes of the episode, I will put in a link to where you can find her, where you can follow her, so that you can do more breath work with Jacki. So I'm ever so grateful for this time together. And I promise you, if you try some breath work, try just this little practice, you'll be smiling again. Thank
Yes,
you.
I love that. Thank you so much for having me.